And a good evening to all, and welcome to another tropical update from the Cayman Hurricane Center. Again, for this 10th day of September 2024. And, folks, the Atlantic certainly has become a fair bit busier out there. We do have a couple of systems that we are monitoring. The one of the greatest threat and the most immediate threat, as you can see here on satellite imagery just before nightfall here, is that of newly upgraded Hurricane Francine. Yes, folks, Hurricane Francine. This was actually a system that we were monitoring across the Atlantic basin over the past almost 2 weeks now. Has traversed from Africa across the main development region and into the Caribbean and then into the Gulf of Mexico. Uh, had several opportunities to really develop and ramp up, but sort of waxed and waned throughout its track through the main development region into the Caribbean. Never really took off until it got into the Gulf of Mexico. Now in the Gulf of Mexico, it's taken off and now has become a hurricane. Now, as we could see here, folks, it is forecasted to head northeastwards and then northwards, making a landfall there into Louisiana by the time we get to Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. We're expecting a landfall there in Louisiana. And then through the evening and nighttime hours, then crossing into the Mississippi area and then heading points further north and northeast from there. So just running through the figures here with you on the latest advisory here for Francine. As of this advisory, located 25.8 north, 94.8 west. This is about 150 miles east of the mouth of the Rio Grande, or about 350 miles southwest of Morgan City, Louisiana. Again, the system has now strengthened to a 75 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane. The movement, again, northeast at 10, pressure recorded by the Hurricane Hunters 982 millibars. Again, folks, as it approaches Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama area, as we can see, we do have watches and warnings issued here for the region. Just quickly running through what those are. We have a hurricane warning for the Louisiana coast, Cameron eastwards to Grand Isle. We have a hurricane watch, Lake Marpos, Lake Pontchartrain, including metropolitan New Orleans. We do have a tropical storm warning in effect for Texas and Louisiana coast, east of High Island to Cameron, east of Grand Isle, Louisiana to the Alabama-Florida border, and Lake Marpos, Lake Pontchartrain, including metropolitan New Orleans. We also could see here some inland tropical storm watches that extend inland over Mississippi and portions of east central portions of Louisiana, and then crossing over to the Mississippi, Alabama, Florida lines, again, internally in the state. We also have some storm surge watches and warnings. Storm surge warning, Sabine Pass, Texas to the Mississippi-Alabama border. Vermilion Bay, Lake Marpos, Lake Pontchartrain, as well as the storm surge watch for the Mississippi-Alabama border to the Alabama-Florida border, and that also includes Mobile Bay. So, talking about the system again, it is expected to continue to strengthen up until landfall. So we'll have to continue to watch this as it progresses over the next 24 hours or so. And we do note that weakening is then expected as it moves further inland. For this, as we can see, the hurricane force winds do extend pretty not too far out from the center. It's only about 30 miles from the center, but we do note that tropical storm force winds do extend out further, about 140 miles from the center. And of course, as the system pulls a little bit further towards the northeast. We are expecting it to grow a little bit more in size as it does so. So we'll be watching that closely. Now, getting into the impacts here, folks, we are expecting that, of course, hurricane conditions will be in the area Wednesday afternoon, with tropical storm conditions obviously reaching those areas earlier on Wednesday morning. Hurricane conditions again possible in those watch areas uh, as we get into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. Tropical storm conditions expected along the coast of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Wednesday night. Now, in terms of precipitation here, folks, we are looking at 4 to 8 inches with locally higher amounts of 12 across eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, and far southern Alabama. And we could also see that also for the western portions of the Florida Panhandle, and that'll be through Friday morning. We do know that these rainfall can uh, be giving considerable risk for flash and urban flooding. As we could see here, there is a pretty good moderate risk of that excessive rainfall here, and this will likely lead to the significant flooding or the flash flooding for these areas. There is a slight risk here again for western portions of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee area, all the way down into Louisiana. We do have that slight risk there for the excessive rainfall. Now, folks, getting into the storm surge threat, which is again another flooding risk that we do need to look out for. Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge to Port Fortune, 5 to 10 feet. Vermilion Bay, 5 to 10 feet. Port Fortune, Louisiana, to the mouth of the Mississippi River, 4 to 7. Cameron, Louisiana, to the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge, Louisiana, 3 to 5. Pointe Alahatche, Louisiana, to the Mississippi Alabama border, 3 to 5. Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Marpaz, 3 to 5. With that, swells generated by Francine are affecting much of the northern and northwestern Gulf Coast, and this will likely continue over the next couple of days. And we also have to look out for the risk of tornadoes possible Wednesday and Wednesday night across portions of southeast Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. So again, folks, our system here, Francine, will closely monitor the progress of Francine as it pulls towards Louisiana. And of course, we'll have another update for Francine tomorrow morning. For now, this is the tropical update from Cayman Hurricane Center. And again, we'll be back tomorrow.